I think because PR, right, it's hard to quantify PR sometimes,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Those metrics, they're not marketing metrics in what we do. So
Mhm.
because clients don't really understand what we do, it's easy for someone to say, hey, this didn't work.
Welcome to Be Real with Sarah, where the B may sting and the real never dies. Hey y'all, we are back with another episode of Be Real with Sarah, where the B may sing, but the real never dies. Y'all, I'm just really, and I always tell y'all that I'm so excited, but I really am excited again for one of my good, close PR friends, one of the three of our PR besties. She's going to be joining us. And today, y'all, you know, I've talked about how yes, I'm a podcaster. Yes, I am in this media side, but y'all, I can't get past that. I'm a business owner, but I'm also a publicist. So you're going to see a little bit of me just really just having some conversation with my PR bestie, how we do life together, how we do business together. And I'm just going to stop chit chatting because I have to introduce my girl. I got to say all the good things, the accomplishments. All right. So we are joined by Reagan Farley. She is a PR strategist. You cannot touch her when it relates to strategy. She is an industry disruptor, okay? She has worked with brands such as NBC Universal, Fox, Def Jam, CBS. My girl has worked with NAACP, Harvard University, all right? She is also a Lincoln University alumni. So for my HBCU audience, baby, she is HBCU down, all right? And she is known for building her own blueprint with her own PR agency with her business partner, Deja, with the Credo Group. So y'all, let's give a warm welcome to Reagan Farley.
Sarah, you warm my heart by saying it. So thank you so much. It's always useful when people read your bio back. It makes me blush.
Girl, no, you don't. Can't nobody touch you in strategy, Reagan. I'm sorry, I can't touch you.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Like Daisy says, thank you. You're far too kind.
Girl, well, I appreciate you for coming on. The conversation what we're gonna have today is gonna be so big, so good. So I gotta make sure that our audience make sure they tap in with our girl Candace so we can really talk about really how business is, how PR, the industry. But I want you to kind of walk us down this journey. When you hear your, just all your accomplishments, all the things you've accomplished to this point, like how does it just walk us down the journey from young Reagan to the Reagan that she is today?
I think young Reagan always knew she wanted to be in PR. And this Reagan still isn't done, but young Reagan always knew, and I say this in every interview, that she wanted to be behind the scenes, pulling the strings. I knew I wanted to be in PR. Maybe I never knew what it was called, but I knew I wanted to be doing something somewhere. I knew that in high school, rather, I was in a multimedia class. That was a class that was, hi, good evening, I'm Reagan Farley, and I'm on Pikesville PHS TV. And girl, I got so bored trying to do that, or it was either working in Adobe Photoshop. And I did not want to do that. So when I saw what PR was, and I saw, I think it was Leslie Grubbin's PR girls class or PR girls TV show that she had, I said, Mom, I want to do that. And that's kind of where my love for PR started. And I just knew I wanted to be behind the scenes, pulling the strings. So when I got to Lincoln and I was able to do public relations and, all of the external PR things that I did when I was on campus, that's kind of how my love for public relations started. So it then became Reagan Publicist. Long story short.
So that's young Reagan. So today, the woman I'm looking at today, where are you in the industry and your career now?
Strategy is what I am built on, I think, because you cannot have public relations without strategy. Everyone looks at PR and says, hey, get me on radio, get me on television. But how do I get you on radio, television, newspapers without a big picture strategy? Because what does that look like? You can get yourself on radio, television, newspapers one time, but how do we get you on there consistently? What does that big picture blueprint look like? And that's what myself and my business partner, Deja Kamrati, pride ourselves on at the Credo Group. How can we get you on something long term? How can we continuously do that? And how do we get you there from start to finish?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good too. And just hearing what you're saying, obviously, I know what it looks like to how do we, what's the strategy to keep you consistently in the press and media or in opportunities. But then there's still, I think there's a gray area that people don't understand, that with strategy does take time to develop. And you have to be patient in the process. And I think we encounter sometimes clients that, well, what's next? Or what are we doing? And it's like, I mean, what are we doing? I mean, there's more to the story is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes, there's more to the story, and then I'm always thinking of angles, right? Like, it's holiday time, but I still gotta get you stories. If let's say I don't have a client that's doing anything around the holidays, how can I get you stories beyond the holidays? If it's Women's History Month, if you're doing things for menopause, how can I continuously get you stories if your story isn't relevant or sexy in the news cycle? So I always gotta be thinking 10 or 20 steps ahead. I always gotta hustle, if that makes sense.
Yes, I always got to hustle. I always got to be a forecaster. And I mean, I can, be transparent with you. Sometimes that gets it gets tiresome, right? It gets tiresome to always,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's a thing where it's a misunderstanding of with NPR that it's always press, 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 press. We've discussed that before. But instead it's like, how can we position you for visibility opportunities? And we've discussed this, like, maybe it's an
Yes,
event or maybe it's a partnership. So how do
yes.
you, like, in your mindset with the strategy is like, how do you correlate, how do you communicate that to your client? Like, hey, sometimes this may not be a month full of press. This may be a month of something else.
I like to start that early on, right? Like, because if you don't have, Deja always says clear is kind. And we set that intention early, and it's rolled over into, us
You
even
be
having
telling
those
me.
clear
Yeah.
conversations, right? I like to set that intention early on, because if you're not clear with that, then clients always expect something different, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, so setting that standard early on, so that way folks know, like, hey, this won't be a heavy press month, because we don't own that, right? And if we don't own that, we don't control it. So
Mm-hmm.
setting that intention early on, that press intention early on, or to say, hey, we may set something, or we may give you an opportunity that's not a news heavy opportunity, but it's still giving you something for a big picture. I like to tell my clients, or say to my clients, does this go back to the strategy of what we're doing? And even if it's not a press heavy opportunity, did it hit one of your communications goals? Did it hit
Mm-hmm.
one of your goals to get you back to what we had planned for you? And if it did, even if it's not a PR media goal,
Mm-hmm.
earned media goal, did
Mm-hmm.
it get you to that next visibility opportunity? And if it did, it's okay that it wasn't an earned media goal.
That's true. That's true. Now, have you ever experienced where, and this, I'm using some of your words where you be like, we just spitballing. We just spitballing conversation. Have you ever felt like, or ever encountered where a client may feel like, okay, this strategy didn't work?
Yes, Sarah, all the time. All
Tell us
the
about it.
time. And we are kikiing, y'all, so don't mind us on the podcast today.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say all the time, and y'all don't judge me for saying all the time,
Yeah.
but in my, whew, it's not 20 years yet, because I'm not that old, but it's maybe 15, maybe it's 15, maybe it's 10. Who's counting now?
Who's
But
counting, girl?
um, whew, it's been a little ghetto. I think because PR, right? It's hard to quantify PR sometimes,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Those metrics, they're not marketing metrics in what we do. So
Mm-hmm.
because clients don't really understand what we do, it's easy for someone to say, hey, this didn't work, right? Because they feel like they didn't get a proper media hit, or they don't understand the visibility that they're getting and how it relates to their quote unquote ROI,
Ugh,
then they feel like it
hate that
didn't work.
word. That we gotta. What is that? That's not that. You can't say that. You cannot say ROI. What are you talking about?
Sarah, they feel like they can. So of course, most times, and that is not to antagonize clients. I love y'all. If y'all have spent $1 with the Credo Group, formerly Intel Media Group, I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting us. I'm not talking about y'all, but
Yeah, this is so. So this is not a. On the Be Real with Sarah podcast, we're keeping it all the way real because it's a real thing. It's a real conversation. You can't quantify PR. I think that, like you said from the beginning, you made a good point. You got to set the expectation with the client first. So you set the expectation with the client first. You say, hey, this is what you can expect from us. What bothers me is that when people are like, oh, well, I didn't get any results, or this didn't work, and things like that. So, but I want us to dissect what didn't work. Was it like, did you exceed, your expectations was somewhere? What did we put on your original strategy? We cannot promise, and if anyone's promising you press, then I think you should stray away from that, because we can't guarantee. We had times where media come out and the story don't run.
Yep. Or we've had times where no media has come at all. Like, let's also be real with that too. And let me not say no media has come, but when things are beyond our control, let's say the news will say, oh, we're going to come, right? But then maybe something happened, right? Like, let's be real with Sarah. There have been times where media will say, hey, we can come, and then something bigger has happened and they couldn't. Because again, back to us owning it or controlling it. We don't own it or control it. Let's say our client doesn't have their own podcast or their own channel, then
they can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the ego comes in, where it's like, well, why couldn't they come? But I think one time you had a client event and the queen passed. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
The queen did pass. The queen passed, and so everybody was over there. Y'all, let me tell you, we love PR. Don't get us wrong. But it gets real ghetto over here. It's ghetto.
Sarah, now why did the queen choose to die on that day? And I'm not saying that like that.
Why did she die on that day?
Why did she die on that particular day?
She could have died that Sunday.
Where a helicopter had, I think a helicopter landed right, and I think it was in LA, and a helicopter had landed right not too far from where the event was. Like, literally a helicopter. Something happened with a helicopter not too far from where the event was.
Oh my God.
It crashed. It literally crashed.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. So you have to remember, breaking news happened. Hard news is always going to take precedence over what breaking news happens. And we're not laughing at these situations. I'm more so laughing at me and what stress that puts on me as a publicist. I'm not laughing at any of these situations. I'm not laughing at the queen passing away. I'm really sitting here like, this is the life that I chose as a publicist, because I have to explain these scenarios to my clients, and my clients don't care about that. They want to know, Reagan and Deja, what are y'all going to do about that?
And you talking about you laughing. And I think this is God is so intentional. So, I celebrated a birthday not too long ago, and you would think, just like anybody else, they would like to celebrate their birthday in quiet and in peace. Y'all tell me why. I had to get Reagan on the case. And she said that she tried her best not to bother me. But my girl had to bother me because we had press issues that we had to take care of.
It's no birthday right now. No birthday right now. We got things to do.
We got stuff to do. Yeah, no. That's what we signed up for. It just goes chaotic, goes crazy. And I think that's what always gets me when we all discuss about the work that we do. I'm a little bit more of the, I don't know, am I more the emotional friend out the group? Am I because I feel like you, Reagan, no, you gotta do me like that. Okay, well, I'll take it. But I have a thing where I feel like we can do all of this, and we leave unappreciated. Like, we're not appreciated for the work that we do. Clients don't know all the behind the scenes. Like, sometimes, this is not your motto, but sometimes, we're working after hours and we're taking phone calls that we want to take, or working on a weekend because we're getting inquiries or all the things. And I'm like, I just feel like we're just unappreciated. We're not treated right. And in some cases, to be honest, we're not. We're not thanked. We're not appreciated. But I know you always give me a motto that your mom tells you. What is the motto?
It's no money in emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's no money in, and I do believe that PR is such a thankless job.
Yeah.
I believe 100%. So when we do get clients who appreciate us, who stick by us, we have to stick by them. We do have long-standing clients, and like you do
Yeah.
as well, who have been with us for years and years and years, who refer us, who
Yeah.
can come back, who support us, who shout us out on social media. So we stand by those clients. We even, we may say, hey, give them a discount. We may do all of those things sometimes, but
Yeah.
that comes with loyalty. That comes with, continuing to support us too, because I think it's a two-way street. I think, support goes both ways. But yeah, PR is definitely a thankless job, but I think sometimes it's thankless because it does come from lack of understanding too. Because I think sometimes clients will pay and they don't know what they're getting. Like they don't know
Yeah,
what they're
that's
getting.
fair. Yeah. They
And
don't know what they're getting. Yeah.
I think if it were in reverse, clients pay too much money to not understand what they're getting. Like that's too much
Yeah.
money to
Every month.
no way.
Every month. Every month.
Sir, ma'am,
You're
it's too
paying
much
us
money
every month. I just want to be clear. Every month. You're
every
paying
single.
every I I need to be a part of your regular bills every month.
It's like rent. Rent money. Buddy.
I don't forget about me. Don't just pay me when you want to. Pay me. It's just,
Like
but
don't pay me now and pay me in equity. Like oh my
pay
God.
me in equity. There we go. There we go. For all emotional stress. But because essentially we are working ahead. So you may think like, okay, well, I paid them, December, whatever. But we gotta strategize depending on your contract, we gotta strategize ahead for March or February or all the things. And so I think that's important to just make sure that number one, no ask questions. And I think that's also too where people like, I don't like no. If you are about to pay for a service, you because PR is a luxury, it's an investment. Do you have to have PR? Our PR brains is like everybody needs, PR at a certain point in their business. But it is a luxury service that that's not something that, some people say, hey, I don't think that's what we're gonna do, I don't know. But my point is that know what you're paying for, ask the right questions, but then also um be involved in the process. Don't just we've had situations where it's like they just drop and go and that's it. Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all. She came back. That's Reagan be dipping in and out. Okay. So goofy. But yeah, that's okay, friend. That's okay. But no, I was just saying you made up a good point about how you just really need to know, what you're getting yourself into. But I also think sometimes, I don't know. I mean, do you think that people get a little, what do you call it? Window shopping happy or something like that, where they see something glamour,
I think I think, and even with us, right? Like even with the PR besties, I feel like people want to shop around. I feel like PR is like shoes, right? It's never a good. Well, my Baltimore accent came out. PR is like shoes. They want to feel like they have the best fit. They want to try things on. Me, you, and Candace have gotten different inquiries from the same people. They'll hear my price, they'll hear your price, they'll hear Candace's price, and then they'll all say, never mind, like, or I want affordable PR. Well, what does affordable PR mean?
Mm.
So what is
I
that?
don't know. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. What is
I'm
affordable
not sure.
PR? I haven't thought. I wouldn't know.
Girl, baby,
I wouldn't. I need some water. I don't know what affordable PR because
give me some milk.
okay, like okay. So where do you think we're in a new year? It's 2026. Whew, we're getting older. Where do you think if you had if somebody offered you something like this say, and this is a tough question. It's a tough question, right? Hope you're ready. If you were asked, how do I want to ask this? I guess career wise, like I'm still gonna push. I'm still gonna push. What I've been doing, my dreams, my passion in this industry, or I'm gonna take. I want to. I think I want to really take my skill set and take it a little bit further and what like the corporate or what would you say? Like where do you think your mind is? And I ask that because at some point in what we've seen with other people in this industry, sometimes there's different shifts, right? And we're seeing a lot of business shifts. So where do you think you are?
So if you're asked like, so are you asking like, what does this next stage look like for me is kind of the question.
Yeah. Or, you could say you and the Credo group too, but for you.
Okay. So for Credo is continuing to build, but for Reagan, the strategist, me, I would love to see myself also building at a company. I've been full time, uh, myself in particular, been blessed to be full time leading our company since 2019. So I'm ready to like in entrepreneurship period. I've been full time since like 2013, but living our company Credo group since for a really long time. So I'm ready to kind of take my magic and everything that I've learned over the years and go somewhere else and help build like somewhere corporate.
Yeah. And we all talk about this a lot. We're tired, That's
Because
the real note. It's ghetto.
because you things entrepreneurship, you have to do all the things. You're the CEO, you're the executor, you're doing so much, and then to be CEO plus execution, even if you're building out a team, you got to teach the team, you got to do all of the things. I'm tired.
Yeah, we're tired. And I think I'll say for me, a little bit of being a business owner, CEO is that we got to make sure we eat. And so in the entrepreneurship world, we've been talking about that trend that has been going on or is going on about it's hard to go from this to this. And that's the reality of what we experience as business owners. I don't think we can honestly sit here and say that it's always been highs and highs and highs and highs. It's been a lot of lows. And so as a business owner, for me, I'm with you myself too. I'm like, this is great. I was telling our producer, I was like, all this looks great. This is nice. But then all of this has to be sustained. And so we're always thinking of like, well, what's next? But then you get tired of thinking about what's next. I just want to get every 2 weeks. I don't have to think about after 5 o'clock on Fridays. I'm off.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's it. Like even with you reading my bio, all of that has to be sustained. Like all of those types of clients, you gotta sustain and again and again. Cause where's the Harvard contract now? Where is the and the where's the Harvard? Where Harvard at now? Like where's
that's the
another one? There's
reality.
another one.
Mm-hmm.
Like what are we talking about? Like gotta keep going with that. You have to keep going.
It sounds good, and that's the thing. Like never discrediting the work. The work was done. You work with the companies, but where are they? Where are they in 2026? That's what we're talking about. And you have to sustain. And if you guys don't know, baby, we like nice stuff. We like to live good too. Not bigger or better than, but we have to sustain a certain lifestyle ourselves because don't nobody want to hire a broke, disgusted publicist. You want some. Your image is important.
Yes, image is important. And this friend love a good fragrance. This friend in here the girl loves a good fragrance. Spray with Ray. Hello, what are we doing? Like
Yeah, but Reagan, I tell you all the time, you are this influencer. The girls love you, y'all. The girls love Ray. They love Ray. They love Master Ray. Like Ray can have an event and it's sold out.
Gotta get through it, man. Gotta don't stress me out.
She said, "Don't stress." I mean, that's just a part of it. That's a part of it. I think we all have a certain level of influence, but that's the whole part about branding. Like you brand yourself. You're not just a publicist, but you also an influencer, and Golfer. You a golf girly, right? No.
Don't stress me out, Buzz. Yeah.
She said, "Don't say."
Talking about the B-roll with Buzz. We talking about B-roll with Buzz right now. PR questions only. No comment.
She said, "No comment." Oh my goodness. But anyway, I think it's really important that we have friends in the same industry because I don't know how we would make it.
I'm so blessed to have y'all. Like, literally, we could get in our group chat and be like, "Hey, this just happened. This just in breaking news." Like, breaking news. Somebody just got on my nerves.
Yeah, we do actually every day. That's we have a group chat. We have a group chat. We had to talk about the things. Why did they do that? What is this? Look at this DM. Am I crazy? Is it me? Um, we have to encourage each other because it's just not easy. I just don't have a we look great, but it's not easy.
It's not easy at all. It's not heavy as the head, right? Like heavy as the head and wears the crown, like for sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure.
So friends, so where do you think PR and AI is gonna be this year?
I think PR and AI need each other to coexist right now, for sure. I think where I think people are taking it though, people are taking AI. People are trying to make AI though, or sorry, let me start that over. I think that people are trying to adapt AI and not make AI work for itself though, or not make PR work with AI. So basically they're trying to utilize AI but not utilize PR with it, if that makes sense. So they're trying to so like one of my interns was like, "Oh, I just strictly use AI and I don't write it myself." No, you still have to write things yourself and not completely use AI. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. You still have to write. You still have to think for yourself.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
This has to
We
coexist. And
yeah. We can be little I think AI is great. We actually cannot live without it. I mean, it's everywhere. It's just every platform, all of our systems that we use. Like you can barely get somebody on the phone. So it's just for the agencies that are not incorporating AI. Unfortunately, you're not where you need to be as an agency because it's everywhere. However, you have to understand that AI is a tool, and I think it's also important for people to know that they try to use ChatGPT to be their publicist, and that doesn't work either.
yeah, it's a tool. It's not the end all be all. So I
Yeah.
love what I'm saying. I love, folks who are the early adapters, but it won't replace, right? Like you'll still need that publicist, you'll still need that person to think for you, but it shouldn't be the replacer of someone that's thinking. It shouldn't replace human functions. It shouldn't replace because then it'll all sound robotic. Yeah, it can, write a pitch. Yes, it can write a press release. But if it all sounds robotic, then what do you do, right? Like you'll still need that person to think for you. It shouldn't replace your pitching. It shouldn't replace your press release. Like I think I told you I had a friend of mine, like a client of mine, and if he sees this, again, it's a friend, like a brother. He had, he had put a press release and then he saw my name at the bottom of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it sounds so robotic. And I'm like, what would you do? Like, it sounds robotic. It literally sounded extremely robotic, and you could tell that it was ChatGPT. You can just tell when something is written in ChatGPT. That's
Dang. And that's
it
something
sounds,
you just
yeah, like you could just tell that it looks AI.
yikes. Yikes. And that's from a real publicist that
Mhm.
knows writing. So for someone that's listening that's saying, okay, I see, I follow a publicist or I would like to hire a publicist or PR agency. What would you say is a sustainable or decent budget that they should accumulate or at least set aside per month for a PR agency?
Um, I think minimum for a smaller agency, 1,500 a month is probably that starting base package, and that would be minimum. 1,500, and then going up from there.
Okay. Now you got to define minimum because they don't know. People don't know. So what we saying? Press release.
That would be, I think that would be for full service. Minimum for full service for a small agency. And let me define small. That would be 1 to 2 people for a smaller agency. Not for me though. Not for me and my team.
You think you don't think one person should get that?
Yeah, that's what I said. One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I said 1 to 2.
Well, if you charging $1,500 and you one person, please make those deliverables as less as possible.
They should be very small deliverables. Very, very small deliverables. That's not full service. That's not events. That's not red carpets. That's not submissions. That is not a lot of work. No.
I mean, a lot. I mean, maybe one call a month, a press release, and a select few outlets of outreach.
Yeah, that's not a lot of work. Like, that's not, hey, get me on a red carpet. That's not, hey, fly me out. That's not. I think 1,500 is an okay budget for stuff. It's okay to do something. I don't think that's unrealistic. Now, 3,500 to 5,000 is medium. That's a fair price to do a little bit more.
Medium.
Yeah. Medium agency. Then you get to your 6,000, your 10,000. I think different strokes for different folks. But we're saying early PR budgets. I don't think 1,500 is off kilter.
I don't think it's off kilter.
Needed.
It depends. I was gonna say a safe amount was 25.
But I think it depends on who the audience is for your podcast. Who we talking to tonight on Be Real with Sarah?
Well, that's true. But I will say there's tiers, right? There's tiers. So if you are a small startup entrepreneur business, and you're like, I wouldn't mind having a news station or maybe a few podcasts, then depending on who you go to, you can. I think that's a good start amount. You're talking about $1,500 a month. Just say you give yourself 3 months. What is that? $4,500 in total. Or at least say, I got $5,000 towards PR. Somebody would probably be willing to work with you. And when I say work with you, I mean, they will be the sole contact of like, I'm going to write the press release. I'm going to do the outreach to this select amount. But I think that if you're listening and you're like, well, I'm starting out, I'm learning, maybe you set that as your price, but also be very transparent in what you're going to deliver. Don't be out here going to a house, doing all this, doing social media, picking up your phone, you're doing all this and you're doing this for $1,500.
Yeah. So that's because let's be clear. That 1,500 is not a base rate for me or Sarah. That 1,500 that I mentioned is a base rate for someone new starting out, someone more junior, someone who is trying to fresh new to the game, looking to get their feet wet. They're probably more so susceptible to say, hey, I'll maybe do a press release for you, some submissions, some pitches, so on and so forth. And maybe, you're new in an industry too. You're looking to get some information out there about yourself. You're looking to just hire a publicist for the first time. Maybe you have that bigger budget. Maybe you're just looking to hire someone for the first time, get into the industry, hire your first publicist. Maybe you don't have that big $3,500 amount to spend. I totally understand that. There's levels, right? Like there's levels. So I just wanted to be generous and say, hey, maybe it's $1,500. Everyone don't have that big $500 budget to spend. But I don't think 1,500 is bad. I think 1,500 is a good base for someone new and just starting out.
That's fair. We'll side with Reagan for today. Yeah. No, but she's right though. She's right. When you are looking for more senior, the pros with a more senior obviously is their level of expertise, their level of relationships, their level of strategy, the level of how quick they can think. They're going to be on site with you. You have a little bit more access. That is a question I do get though, is from an agency standpoint of how much access do I have with you? And I think it's a slippery slope a little bit, when you are a CEO of an agency. Obviously we are the faces, your business partner of y'all's agency. and myself, we're the faces, but then the goal of of us building an agency is to either, yeah, we could be the face of the account, but then we also would like to put people in place so that we can focus on other details. Not that we don't have our hands on your account. I think that's also misconstrued. Like, it's not that we don't have our hands on, we're aware, we know, but that doesn't always mean that you have to always have access to us like that, because we're not junior. So everybody runs their agency differently, but I do think that that is that should be explained too, for sure.
And then remember, people always say, well, what am I hiring a publicist for? I always like to say, you're hiring a publicist for their time, their talent, and their resources. Sure, it is to pitch, sure it is to get stories, sure it is to do all of the things, but you're hiring Sarah, even if you pay her that $3,500 a month, that $4,000 a month, that $6,000 a month, all of those things. If you break it down, so whatever her hourly rate is, you're still hiring her at base level for her time, her talent, and her resources, whatever that looks like. Even if she can put together that press release in 2 to 5 to 3 minutes, it's her time, it's her talent, it's her resources. If it's Reagan, my time, my talent, and my resources. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, we worked for this. We worked for this. We got to this point. So I think that's fair. No, I think that's really good. And I think I will say this, in 2026, I still am an advocate for that. People do need if you've never worked with a PR agency or a publicist, I think you should definitely, I don't like to say give a try, right? I think it's time for you to make the investment for sure, because it's needed. I mean, we've done phenomenal work. We've gotten the results. The goal is visibility. It's not ROI. I just want to be
clear. Yeah. The goal is definitely visibility. It's getting the word out. It's doing all of the things that you can't do on your own. And once you've done everything that you can, right, it's a level up. Like, it's investing in your business. It's getting back, the time and talent that you've put in when you've done everything that you can. So that's why you're hiring a publicist. Hey, I've hit that glass ceiling. Let me hire someone that can get me to the next level because I've done all that you can. And if you love your business that much, the next thing is to hire someone that can help you get to the next level, because you've already done everything that you can do. So you should hire someone. Why not hire Be the Buzz Agency? Why not hire the Credo Group? Why not? It's only going to help you, boo.
It's only going to help you. We only going to take you to the next level. Y'all, I'm just excited that my sister was able to come on. First of all, she's so busy, y'all. So I had to get on her calendar today to make sure that she was going to be a guest on Be Real with Sarah. So thank you, Reagan. Is there anything else you want to share with Be Real with Sarah audience?
Be Real with Sarah. Sarah has been working me nonstop, so that's why I'm busy. No, y'all, I love Sarah. I love our friendship. If you have not hired a publicist, make the investment. It's so important. It will only do your company good, your agency. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's important. And also, I think one of the things you guys should have as business owners is colleagues who can pour into your business. Even if you are not in, PR, have someone in your industry that you can talk to, bounce ideas off of, learn something about your business, invest into your business day to day. It just have colleagues, just have people who are in your space that you can align with, build with, because you don't know everything. You don't know everything on. Sometimes we get in our minds and get in our heads, and you just need someone else to ask a question to. And if you have those people, lonely road for sure.
Ugh, that's so true. Well, y'all, we got to give it up for Reagan Farley, y'all. This was a really good episode. I put back on my publicist hat. I kept it real cute for y'all. But at the end of the day, we kept it real with you on the industry, where we are as individuals, where we are in our career, our journey. And I'm just excited to see what's next for our girl. So y'all know what we do here. We be real, spread the honey, and we be you. Okay? All right. Till next time.